The International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for two high-ranking Russian military officers for attacks on civilian infrastructure in Ukraine.
Real Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti has been accused by Spanish prosecutors of tax fraud.
U.S. Super Tuesday primaries for presidential race saw big wins for President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. The International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for two high-ranking Russian military officers. They are wanted for the war crime of directing attacks at civilian objects and causing excessive incidental harm to civilians. It's the second time the International Court has issued warrants linked to Russia's war in Ukraine. In March 2023, the court asked for the arrest of Russian President Vladimir Putin, accusing him of being responsible for the abductions of children from Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed the decision and thanked the International Criminal Court on Tuesday. French President Emmanuel Macron reiterated his support toward Ukraine at a press conference in Prague. Macron also said it is important to secure ammunition for Ukraine from countries outside the EU. A family of 5 who died in a Russian drone attack on the southern port city of Odessa were laid to rest on Tuesday. 12 people, including 5 children, were killed in the weekend drone strike that hit a multi-story building. Dozens showed up to pay their respects to the family. The attack on a Russian warship by Ukrainian sea drones on Tuesday is the latest example of Ukraine employing these domestically produced maritime devices. The unmanned, remotely controlled Magura V5 drones use existing technology scaled up for warfare. They're equipped with GPS and cameras and have a very low radar profile. The secret unit that produces them has unveiled its latest model, the Baby Sea drone, can carry even more explosives to strike bigger targets.
Це дрон з новими значно покращеними морехідними властивостями і спроможностями, який точно зможе доставити корисне навантаження понад тонну на дистанцію понад 1100 кілометрів. Інші параметри я поки що не можу вам їх озвучувати, але ми притримуємося такої стратегії, що це має бути універсальна платформа, на якій ми будемо розміщувати і вже розміщуємо дуже цікаве озброєння.
Costing hundreds of thousands of euros, the drones can sink warships worth many millions. They have not just helped Ukraine protect its Black Sea coast, but have also boosted national morale when it's needed the most.
Real Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti has been accused by Spanish prosecutors of tax fraud to the value of €1 million. He has been accused of setting up shell companies to hide part of his earnings during his tenure as the club's manager. It is alleged he used these firms to conceal income gained from image rights, which he failed to declare. If found guilty, he faces 5 years in prison. The 64-year-old has not yet responded to the charges.
Voters in 16 U.S. states and 1 U.S. territory have chosen the presidential candidates in primaries on the country's traditional Super Tuesday. The vote saw big wins for President Joe Biden from the Democratic Party and Republican former President Donald Trump. Tuesday's vote was an indication that a potential rematch between the two candidates in the November elections is looming. They both won the primaries in Massachusetts, Maine, Tennessee, Alabama, and Texas. Biden won Democratic nominating contests in 15 states and Trump in 12 Republican contests. Republican candidate Nikki Haley won the Republican primary in Vermont.
For Nikki Haley, the former governor here in South Carolina, there was just the one surprise win this Super Tuesday in the state of Vermont, but no victory speech, though her campaign said staff were jubilant. There were no public remarks from her here in Charleston, while Donald Trump rightly declared victory. There was no mention whatsoever of Nikki Haley and Donald Trump's speech in Florida. He's moved on from these primaries, and so has President Joe Biden. Both men now firmly pivoting to the general election, the repeat of the duel in 2020. Trump has firmly cemented his role as the leader of the Republican Party on this Super Tuesday. He's not yet the presumptive nominee, but that could happen within a week. And the same goes for Joe Biden. 8 months of campaigning now await us here in the United States. And Joe Biden will have his work cut out, because recent polling shows that Donald Trump can win in November. Philip Crowther, Euronews in Charleston, South Carolina.
According to the Polish Cyber Defense Army, Poland is receiving a high number of DDoS attacks that originate from Russia. These type of attacks flood a server with internet traffic to block them from accessing services.
Nasze analizy i informacje, które otrzymujemy od naszych sojuszników i partnerów, wskazują, że Polska, jeżeli chodzi o jeden z typów ataków, ataki DDoS, jest jednym z najbardziej atakowanych krajów na świecie. Okresowo nawet znajduje się na szczycie tego zestawienia.
The Railway Transport Office is such an institution which is experiencing an increase in cyber attacks. Experts say that these attacks can be geolocated to Russia.
Urząd Transportu Kolejowego, czyli instytucja zajmująca się sprawami regulacyjnymi w transporcie kolejowym w Polsce, dziennie jest atakowana 2000 razy. Rosjanie tak naprawdę atakują wszystko, co jest możliwe. Jest GPS Jam, taka strona, która pokazuje właśnie zakłócenia. Patrząc na mapy, no to jedynym źródłem tak daleko wysuniętym na zachód może być tylko Królewiec. Poza tym jeszcze warto zauważyć, że mamy zakłócenia nad Estonią, nad Łotwą, troszeczkę mniej nad Litwą. Dopóki wojna na Ukrainie będzie trwać, to ta tendencja będzie się utrzymywać.
According to cybersecurity analysts, cyber attacks are increasing across Europe.
We observed an increase in attacks against, for example, academics and NGO workers who focus on Russian geopolitics. Something to note is that Europe is very well protected. We have like different kind of legal framework that assure for the member states sharing, information sharing, and legal framework to have like the same baseline for their cybersecurity.
Last year, global cybercrime damage costs were $18 million every minute. This cost, according to the estimated calculations, will increase, reaching over $10 trillion annually by 2025. Magdalena Falownik for Euronews from Warsaw.
A 62-year-old German man from Magdeburg claims he has been vaccinated against COVID-19 217 times. 134 of those vaccinations could be officially confirmed. A team of researchers found that his immune system was functioning normally without any side effects. According to German media, he was able to purchase and administer the vaccines privately over a period of 28 months.
Ancient books and Greek scrolls. These charred manuscripts discovered centuries ago in modern-day Ercolano, southern Italy, survived the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. Today they are extremely delicate and could fall apart if opened. But the University of Kentucky in the US has found 3 young researchers who discovered there is a way to read these manuscripts without unraveling them.
La Vesuvius Challenge ha risolto per la prima volta in maniera completa il problema dello svolgimento virtuale di questi rotoli, quindi l'apertura dei rotoli carbonizzati senza di fatto toccarli. Si tratta di rotoli estremamente compressi oltre che carbonizzati, quindi molto compatti ma allo stesso tempo molto fragili.
Using an X-ray microcomputed tomography technique, these researchers were able to reproduce the internal parts of the scrolls by retracing the microscopic density differences in the ink and then revealed the text.
AI is able to understand what ink looks like. Even if it's not visible, there are still some patterns on the surface of the papyrus that make up this ink. So the AI is able to pick these up and is able to make the predictions.
For the first time in history, it will be possible for scholars to read these precious scrolls discovered in the famous Villa dei Papiri without even touching them.
When I first realized that we're getting actual complex sentences from inside of the scroll for the grand prize and seeing some of the transcription, it's incredibly awing and humbling, you know, like, and we feel very lucky to be part of this process.
All'interno della Biblioteca Nazionale di Napoli c'è l'Officina dei Papiri Ercolanesi, un laboratorio di conservazione e studio dell'unica biblioteca antica conservata al mondo. Una biblioteca con ben 1840 reperti tra rotoli e frammenti, trovati nella Villa dei Papiri di Ercolano.
Questo ovviamente comporta la grande attesa, ecco, per i risultati della Vesuvius Challenge anche sul resto della collezione, perché ci permetterebbe di scoprire 250-300 opere completamente nuove.
It's good news for historians and history buffs who will soon be able to discover what's buried inside these ancient scrolls and many more like them.
The Barbie brand has honoured Helen Mirren with a one-of-a-kind doll made after her ahead of International Women's Day. The British actress is named a Barbie role model as the brand celebrates female storytellers as part of its 65th anniversary celebrations. Her doll recreates the iconic blue fashion look she wore on the 2023 Cannes red carpet. Viola Davis, Kylie Minogue, Shania Twain have also all been named as Barbie role models.